Mastery is built in the midst of challenges. Many times, that is the quickest, easiest, fastest way to build those spiritual muscles. And yet, yes, we can also build them in happy, beautiful, and lovely ways. That's how I see a setup. And that's what I really believe is within the scope of the upset. Let's take a 40,000-foot view of life itself. Why we're here. We're here to expand. We're here to grow. If we're not growing, well, then we're not growing. And even if we hang around for a few more years or decades, we will live in a stagnant. And there are many people who are living life, but not truly alive. So when we think about really living on that edge, living on that, life, being alive, we can know that we're here for elevation. We're here for expansion. We're here for increase. We're here for more. And so, when these opportunities come in and we have that mindset that this is a mastery moment, I'm dedicated. And I've dedicated my life. I've said yes to this idea that I'm here to elevate. I'm here to expand. I'm here to know more. I'm here to be more. I'm here for a purpose. And my purpose is also aligned with increased consciousness, spirituality, expansion, and how to live that in our day-to-day. And I'm here to experience that every day and in every way. And I'm here to help people also along that journey. And so when we come from that, just even as we step into the day and we recognize, I'm not feeling so good. Something's happening and I'm feeling triggered. Something's happening and there's some bubbling up of emotion. Something's happening we can feel ourselves moving off this pathway of bliss. I call it living heaven on earth. And the idea that people will say, Patricia, really, you're living heaven on earth? Yes, I still have things happen in my life. I'm human. And is every day feel like heaven on earth? I have things that come my way that don't feel so heavenly. When I recognize, oh, this is a setup. This upset that's coming through is simply a setup for how I get to play this game on the field, for how I get to elevate in life, for how I get to expand in consciousness, for how I get to return to love, for how I get to build those muscles of grace, for how I get to grow even more grounded in, centered in, and very securely in Christ consciousness, love itself. And so anytime I'm upset, whenever I'm upset, and yes, I have things that can be upsetting, I recognize and I pause right there. I take a breath. I'm getting upset. This is a setup. It's a setup, not a setup against me, not a setup that, oh, the evil is lurking, although it could be if I allow it. The setup. How will I set myself up in this opportunity? Where will I set myself in my being? Where will I set myself and where will I tune to in my heart space, right? It's a setup. And when I look at a setup, not as a lesson to try to learn and not as a setup from evil outside of me, I see it as a setup for greater expansion, a setup into even greater consciousness, a setup to build some great muscles, because muscles are built not because we eat bonbons and life is easy. Spiritual muscles are built, mastery is built in the midst of challenges. Many times, that is the quickest, easiest, fastest way to build those spiritual muscles. And yet, yes, we can also build them in happy, beautiful, and lovely ways. That's how I see a setup. And that's what I really believe is within the scope of the upset. And we have upsets, and we are living in a space and a place and a time in this day, literally in this day, where we're at a crossroads of things that can be very upsetting, very upsetting. People are more upset now. And is it true than ever before? There's always been upset. As a mass consciousness, we're living in a time where there's a lot of upset around the globe, a lot of uncertainty, and an uncertainty that breeds fear, and in fear that breeds opportunities for upsets. So think about this. We're at a crossroads. We are in the midst of such a dynamic time and opportunity for this very conversation, for our ability to tap into our highest potential and come from our expanded consciousness to be able to rise above and go beyond that in which is upsetting us, which has a lot to do coming from ego. And I love the acronym EGO, EGO, edging God out. And when we're edging God out, we're not connected to our highest potential. And yet that is the flavor of the day. And in this, we can see, an awesome opportunity, amazing, amazing, amazing setup for the ego to be shown, so that then those who are ready to rise above and go beyond can raise in their consciousness, raise in their connection to spirit and source.